This is Sky Sports, live in HD.
Oh, it is a good cross.
Gets it done.
Yes,
away, man. Oh, here we go. Come on.
Sponsored by Bet365.
Breaking news now, reports coming in of a strange light appearing in Barcelona.
Reports of an unidentified white light seen around Barcelona.
Incredible UFO.
Residents of Barcelona are contacting us in their hundreds.
Early indications are of a powerful, blinding white light racing through the city.
Una bola de luz y así, ¡paf!
Strange ball of light is making its way to the Nou Camp,
home of Barcelona FC.
That special presence is the special one here at the Camp Nou on Spain's very special night. It's El Clasico, Barcelona against Real Madrid, the champions against the leaders in Spain, here on Sky Sports in high definition and for the very first time in 3D. To Barcelona fans, he's nothing more than a translator. But Jose Mourinho wants to make a statement that everybody will understand tonight in whatever language they're watching this game. He wants to come to his former employees and do something he's not done before as a coach. That's win. We're joined tonight by Mark Hughes and Gerry Armstrong. Good evening, gents. Knowing the league as we do, it's only the 13th game of a 38-week season. But this, to an extent, is half of a title decided tonight, isn't it?
Well, of course, yeah, because of the strength of the two sides in the league, then obviously any points they take off each other, then that could be significant at the end of the season. Obviously, Barcelona, the home team tonight, will obviously be going all out for that win. But you always have to be careful with Jose Mourinho's teams. They can suck you in and then hit you on the break. So it's going to be a really interesting game tonight.
We've seen him pitch side already. Fairly warm reception, Gerry, you can say that, but one thing's for sure, as the minutes tick away towards kickoff, or about half an hour away, the reception will become ever more hostile, won't it?
Absolutely, and I think it's a psychological thing with Jose Mourinho. He wants to walk away with at least a draw here tonight, so that psychologically they have one game left at the Bernabeu against Barcelona. You know, it's as if he's trying to put a spell over the Barcelona side, but there's so much quality on both sides. I'm really looking forward to it. Anything can happen tonight.
He will have the support of 600 Madrid fans in here amongst the 98,000 Barcelona fans. He has an important decision to make, though, hasn't he, in terms of the team selection? Stability has been the cause of his success so far. Unbeaten, but makes a change for the first time in 5 games in the league. Higuain on the bench, Benzema starts.
Well, yeah, that's a little bit of a surprise. Obviously, Higuain isn't fit enough to start the game, but obviously he feels that he may be an option for them later on in the game. By all accounts, he's had the problem with his back and has done a great deal of training this week. So obviously, Jose is feeling that maybe he's not ready because of the lack of training he's done leading into the game. So he's probably prepared his team without him. But obviously, he has still got that option of bringing him on maybe later in the game.
In your view, Gerry, to what extent does that weaken Real Madrid this evening?
Well, there's a consistency, or has been a consistency with them over the last 6 or 7 weeks. I've seen them get better and better. Defensively, they've been superb, and I have seen the attack really starting to gel. But because Karim Benzema's coming in, it could be a plus for them. You know, he's got a point to prove. We saw what he did against England last week. You know, he is a quality finisher, and it could go either way. But because Barcelona's the home side, you have to fancy them. I think they're going to have the majority of possession, and it's going to be both sides know exactly how the other side play. They'll try and hit on the break. Real Madrid soak up the pressure. They've got the players that can hurt them. They have, and there's quality on both sides. It's who wins the most battles on the park.
Week 13, of course. Let's check in on the statistical story of the season so far in La Liga. Real, of course, are the leaders, unbeaten so far. Barca have been beaten this season and are a point behind Los Blancos coming into this game. Let's get the details then on that injury to Gonzalo Higuain and the rest of the team news with Guillaume Balaguer.
Barcelona will fill Mark as expected, Guardiola's favourite 11. 3 changes in relation to the last league game against Almeria. Piqué returns to the side. Abidal on the left back has recovered to replace Maxwell. And Mascherano sits on the bench and Busquets starts. For Real Madrid, one major change, as you said, in the 11 that Jose Mourinho favours. Higuain has been a doubt all week with lumbalgia, and he did not pass a fitness test this morning. So in his place, Benzema, in his second start of the season, will start up front for Real Madrid. Strangely, Benzema will sit on the bench.
For Jose Mourinho. Maxwell not playing instead of Abidal. Perhaps Guardiola being a little more cautious than we expected he may this evening. It's been an incredible start for Jose, hasn't it? Top. They came out of the blocks at the start of the season. They are in the box seat and can go 4 points clear at the top tonight. It's all come about faster than the special one expected.
I'm living in that 21st century, doing something mean to it. Do it better than anybody you ever seen. Do it. Screams from the haters, got a nice ring to it. I guess every superhero need his theme music. No one man should have all that power. The clock's ticking, I just count the hours. Stop tripping, I'm tripping off the power.
We could say the process is a bit accelerated. We went step by step. We start building from the back, as always. The team knows how to defend well. The quality of the players we have in attack, of course, is a help. The team is very young and is very fit, and the intensity that the team plays is important also to define a style of play. When we lose the ball, we press well. When we win the ball, we have very fast transition in counter-attack. We have a very, very young team. I cannot say inexperienced, but young, yes. I have to be honest and say that I wouldn't expect so fast the team reaching this level. Psychologically, the team will be ready for that. Fitness, the team is great in this moment. We know how to play. We know how to play, or at least we will be prepared to face a game the way we want. But of course, in the other side is a great opponent with great ambitions, with many years of work together that we don't have. We have just a few months. I think the world will be watching TV in this time, because is a match probably with the best 2 teams in the world in this moment. In the history, Real Madrid never had a good reception in Barcelona. In the history, Mourinho never had a good reception in Barcelona. So you can imagine Mourinho and Real Madrid together will not have a good reception in Barcelona. But this is not a problem.
He loves it, doesn't he? He's been here 5 times, he hasn't won. But this is a league game. He's never been in a league game before. Will that change his approach? As the leaders, clear by a point, will he come for a draw potentially?
I wouldn't have thought so that he'd radically change his approach. I mean, I think actually the points that they've dropped have been on the road, so obviously that may be a concern, and I may feel that he just wants to keep it tight initially and just wait to release the undoubted talent that he has ahead of his back fours. because obviously his game is based on counter-attack, and when they do break, they break with numbers, break with power, and they've got finishers as well. So initially I would imagine he'd play quite tight, but then don't be surprised if it opens up on occasion.
His last visit here, he called his most beautiful defeat in football. It was a 1-0 defeat with Inter, of course, but Gerry, they've got half a chance here.
Yeah, he didn't mind losing 1-0 because they won the battle. You know, they've lost that particular game, but they went through, and that was more important to him. And as I say, he will not set out to try and get a draw tonight, but if he gets a draw and they're still 1 point clear and they've got a game at the Bernabeu to come up next season or next year, then I think he'd be a very happy man. But it's all about, as I say, how hard they can work, and I know Barcelona love the press. They will press the back four of Real Madrid, put them under more pressure. Their back four has been superb this season under Mourinho, but I think this is a real test for them tonight, Mark. This is the one that's going to make the difference for me.
Wonderful subplot, of course, with him and Guardiola having shared a dressing room for years when Mourinho was on the staff here. We'll talk Guardiola in a moment. First, let's hear from the man whose footballing philosophy he's embraced to the full.
If you play well, normally you win. But first thing is playing well. First thing is that we want the ball because I want to decide how I want to play. If I've got the ball, the others got to adapt themselves. Mourinho, in the way of thinking, in the way of playing, now it's a little different. But in Inter Milan, it was always the opponent had the ball and you adjust yourself. Or you get the advantage where you want it. But that's not the philosophy of the game, my game at least. That's why if you see people like Guardiola, it's the example, most easiest example, that he developed on the game, he knew how things were going, so now he passes it on. And that's the nice thing about it. So you can't compare it because for me always the first thing was playing well, not winning.
Does a manager have a moral obligation to the game to do more than win, to produce good football for the game, for the fans as a whole?
I think that's the ideal. Obviously everyone wants to play well and win football matches. On occasions you have to cut your cloth accordingly and set out your team to make sure that you get positive results. Sometimes it's not pretty, sometimes it can be downright ugly, but at the end of the day it's about making sure you get the result that your club wants. Obviously when you've got two clubs as we have this evening with a huge history with fantastic players that have put on the shirt of both clubs, then there is that responsibility to play in the right manner. So I think it's dependent on the club and the type of history that they've had previously.
The culture clash is incredible. Barcelona have spent a third on their team tonight, their squad, than Real Madrid have, just 130 million euros as opposed to 390. Guardiola's taken on what Cruyff did and moved it even further forward, some would say. But it's a different test for him tonight, isn't it, psychologically, because Mourinho's been on his case for a while, and he fears, Gerry, for his players, that the tension may get to them this evening. He needs to control them as much as Mourinho does his tonight.
See, I think Mourinho, Mark, is much better when it comes to the psychological side of the game. He's done it with several clubs at a higher level. Guardiola is still quite young in terms of managerial experience, and he will probably feel the pressure more, and the fact that they're at home. You know, the emphasis is on them to attack. The home fans, we talked about a philosophy of football, the home fans expect them to attack and dominate this match, which they probably will to a certain extent, but as Mark said, on the counter-attack, that's when you have to be careful with Real Madrid. They can hurt you, and they could get done with a sucker punch, and that's what Mourinho's playing for tonight. It's the first time I've ever seen a game of football between two big clubs like this be affected by a player who's not a person who's not actually on the park, and Mourinho's psychology could come across to his players and they could do the job tonight. It's a really amazing match, and I'm looking forward to see what the outcome is tonight.
Well, the Guardiola-Mourinho subplot is just one of many stories that we're keeping our eyes on tonight, of course. 98,000 in, it's filling up steadily. They're anticipating something a little special this evening, as we all are, not just from the managers, not just from the 22, particularly two, Ronaldo and Messi. those two, it is for sure in sensational form, the pair of them. Both got a hat-trick last time out before they come here. I wonder to what extent Ronaldo is more important to Real than Messi to Barca. Is that how you see it this evening?
It's a difficult one to call in terms of the influence each individual has in as a percentage terms, because on any given match day, each one of them can have a huge effect on the outcome of the game if they're allowed to play and if they are able to produce what everybody knows they can. I think obviously Messi, the type of player he is, he gets people off their seats, and I think that can drive your teammates along with you. And you have to say his supporting cast isn't bad either. And as with both teams, you have to say that even if these two guys who are fantastic players don't function as well as they would like, because of the fact that they're surrounded by such great players anyway, somebody else just steps up to the mark and takes over.
Mourinho's tactics with regard to Messi were essentially, Gerry, to not allow him to get onto his left foot when Inter came here last season, and also to allow him space to drop off the front line and pick the ball up in the midfield, but then logjam him as he tried to come back to the back four. Yeah,
I mean, everybody knows that, but see, Messi's a player that can actually drag defenders away and create space for someone else. He's very much a team player, and he will have an influence, and you know, when you think you have him closed up and it looks tight, he produces moments of magic like this. And I just feel he's such a fabulous player. I don't think he even knows himself what he's going to do half the time, but he's just special. He's a very special player. There's nothing or nobody like Messi for me on the planet at the moment.
Top goal scorer, of course, in the league is Ronaldo. 15 games, ever present. He's played all 12 so far for Los Blancos. Have you seen an improvement in terms of his temperament this year? And with regard to that, is that why his games flourish the game?
Well, I think he's a player that we've obviously watched for a number of years, certainly at Premier League level, and yeah, there's a little bit of an edge to him, a little bit of petulant sometimes, but it doesn't seem as prevalent as it used to be, and that's a case of being a more experienced player and understanding the seniority that he has in the Real Madrid team now, and he's obviously one of their key performers and key influences on their side, so as a consequence he has responsibilities in terms of how he affects his team.
How key is that battle between him and Alves tonight, Gerry?
Oh, it's very, very important. I mean, Dani Alves is quick and he needs to be distinct with Ronaldo, because, you know, Ronaldo he's superb. He's a goal-a-game player. He's got a price tag, and the pressure comes with a price tag. You know, the most expensive player in the world, and I think he's handled it really well this season, but it's all about goals. Once the start of the season kicked off and he wasn't scoring goals, he looked a little bit petulant, and then he got a few goals and suddenly he came out and he showed what he was all about. He's got quality all over him.
Everybody anticipates this evening that Jose's tactics will be to play a 4 with the 2 in front and just lock in and allow Barcelona space high up
to keep a team with the quality of Barcelona and the quality they have, to be able to keep them out for so long, and it's a real test of mental strength and the physicality of the game as well, because they don't have shift that ball very, very quickly in and around the 18-yard box, and your concentration levels have to be at a premium. If one laps, then they have the ability to rip you to bits, so you've got to be really sure in your mind that you've got the personnel out there that can stand up to that challenge.
And this is where the philosophies collide, isn't it, Gerry? Because if they do sit back, they can hit them like this.
Well, this is what they're about. You know, you've got a front three, and I know Higuain's out, but Karim Benzema's very, very quick as well. The front three have got pace, and they've got great skill and technique. Di Maria, you know, we've seen a lot of him. We've seen Ozil, who I think is very important tonight, because I think Ozil's going to have to work harder than he's worked before. You know, he's playing in the hole behind Karim Benzema. But look at Ronaldo. Ronaldo's so pacey, he's so powerful, he's good in the air as well. People forget how good of a header of ball he is, you know, and if he can take his chances. Last season here, Mark, when Pellegrini was in charge, it was a big ask of Pellegrini, his first game in charge, but they had 2 chances before Barcelona got the winner, and it fell to Drenta. Was the first chance 1-on-1, he didn't take it, and the other one went to Ronaldo and he didn't take it. So it's about taking your chances when they appear.
Yes, Real have performed better here, haven't they, recent times, and they have on their own patch. That will give them heart. So much to look forward to. Mourinho's return, how will Guardiola cope with that? 2 best players in the world, Ronaldo and Messi, the 2 biggest clubs in the world, going head to head. And of course, you can watch it for the first time ever in 3D with us tonight. If you're doing that, now join our commentary team, Gary Birtles and Kevin Keatings. But if you're staying with us here in high definition, stand by for kickoff in the biggest game in domestic football. A very special one. Barcelona against Real Madrid, live from the Camp Nou.
Oh, here comes that day.
It's El Clasico, the Spanish champions against La Liga's leaders. Barcelona against Real Madrid, live from the Camp Nou in the Catalan capital. 98,000 inside, millions watching around the world. And how they love their Barcelona in these parts. A very special one, what with the return of Jose Mourinho to his former employer, looking for his first ever win on this ground as a coach. World Cup winners galore, two best players in the world, two biggest clubs in the world, head to head, in what is potentially a title decider this early in the season. Let's join our commentary team. Terry Gibson is alongside Rob Palmer.
Well, I think it might be cold where you are back home, so hog that remote control. Put an extra bar on the fire and settle down for something rather spectacular. They say this game has been hyped. Let me give you a few facts. We have 13 World Cup winners, 2 World Players of the Year, the world's costliest player, 10 nominees for the Ballon d'Or, the biggest crowd in European football, and those are just the facts. A sea of colour greets us here. Terry Gibson, I know you've seen a lot in your career, but even you are open-eyed.
Oh, imagine playing it in a match of this level. Absolutely fantastic.
Well, let's have a look at the teams of Barcelona first of all. Between the clubs, they have 13 players with World Cup winners' medals, 8 of these from Barcelona. And they have the veterans of the Clásicos. Only David Villa is experiencing the big game for the first time. No surprises in personnel or tactics. It's the usual 4-3-3. Barca seeking a 4th successive win against their ancient rivals. Now, Jose Mourinho did have a dilemma. Argentinian striker Gonzalo Higuain reported unfit to start because of a back injury. The temptation may have been to draft in a midfielder, but he's gone for a straight replacement in Karim Benzema. Just his second league start of the season. The French striker who scored against England recently will play up front. They have 4 derby debutants in Ozil, Di Maria, Khedira and Carvalho. The biggest game in the world, possibly the best benches in the world as well. The likes of Adriano, Mascherano, the Argentinian captain, come on for Barcelona. Higuain's in reserve. The referee tonight is preparing us for action. He's actually got a Europa League game later this week. Gerry Gonzalez. Well, so many matchups. It's the special one against the spectacular one, the successful one. It's Ronaldo against Messi. It's also our very own X Factor, Xavi against Xabi Alonso. It's an age since Real Madrid beat Barcelona, 978 days. Spain, as always for this game, is at a standstill. The whole nation divided, probably the globe divided these days. Everybody has a view on Barcelona and Real Madrid. For the first time in many a season, almost impossible to tear them apart. Let the festivities begin. You are one of a global audience tonight of around 400 million people who are tuned in for this game. The greatest game on earth, they call it.
We've done with all the talking, the build-up to the game now, Rob. It's all about the football. I have to say the two coaches look remarkably composed. Guardiola and Jose Mourinho. They know it's all about the football. Guardiola's kept it low-key. But tonight he's going to let his team, hopefully he'll let his team do the talking on the pitch. For Real Madrid, Roberts must have been tempting for Jose Mourinho to bring in an extra midfield player, Lasana Diarra. But he's stuck with the pattern of play that his team have done so well with this season so far. It's attacking, it's bold, it's very unlike Jose Mourinho, but it will make for an open game.
Well, it's the third year in a row that Real Madrid have gone into the game ahead of Barcelona in the Liga. As Villa's on a run, there's a stretch for Pepe. Iniesta, there'll be wave after wave of Barcelona attack tonight. It's a similar night to last year. They played this game on exactly the same date. And of course, it was an Ibrahimovic goal that separated the two sides. There is Iniesta, the man who scored the goal in the World Cup final. Try not to hype it up too much, but every one of those players out there has accomplished great things in their career. Piqué to Iniesta. Villa making a move. Pepe stretches again. He's going to have his hands full tonight.
It certainly is. It's going to be interesting, fascinating for me, Rob. Will Real Madrid try and win the ball back? Will it be high up the pitch? Will they drop deep? Get numbers back behind the ball, allow Barcelona possession? For me, I think they have to try and contend with Busquets. It's going to be interesting if Benzema drops in, or Mesut Ozil, and perhaps even Ronaldo.
First foul of the evening has the Barcelona fans in front of us up off their seats. The referee's done well, though. He's given an advantage to Barcelona, trying to keep things moving. Little allow from Pedro, away by Marcelo. Scrappy defending from Real Madrid. Cool-headed Iturralde Gonzalez gives the free kick to the men from Madrid.
And you see the first in, I'm sure, many little 1-2 plays, passage of plays by Barcelona.
As one would expect, there's a history of bad-temperedness in this game. And 2 players sent off in this fixture last season. Cristiano Ronaldo's got the ball. Cue the boos. Well handled by Valdez in very tricky, slippery conditions.
And we just had a bit of rain before the game, didn't we? It's continued and we'll make for a slick surface. We'll suit the passing game of both teams. Valdez picked up a knock there.
Well, it's quite concerning for Valdez. He's gone down and seems to be in some considerable pain. He seems to have sprung his shoulder. And now he's the last man they want to lose.
They certainly do have an experienced goalkeeper on the bench in Pinto, but hasn't played much football in the last 3 or 4 seasons, I guess. Certainly wouldn't have played in a game of this magnitude.
Oh, it was an absolute freak injury. It just appeared to collide with Piqué as he went down.
Yeah, Piqué, Ronaldo gets the cross in at the near post and he clashes into the shins of Gerard Piqué. I don't think that's going to be too bad for Victor Valdez. Sure, it's going to take a lot more than that for him to come off the field or play in the first 4 minutes.
Well, he's one of the veterans of this game. It's his 15th Grand Clasico. Victor Valdez. He's only ever had 5 clean sheets in the game. That's Pinto, who is an experienced goalkeeper, but this would be the biggest game of his career if he were to come on. I'm sure that, as you say, Valdez will tough it out, though. Here's Xavi. Miscontrol from Alves. Benzema gets into the thrust of things. An unexpected call for the Frenchman tonight. Pedro. It is out to Marcelo, who tries to play his way out of defence and bumps into his fellow countryman, Dani Alves. Lionel Messi still awaiting his first touch of the ball with 5 minutes gone. That looked like a corner. Assistant didn't give it. Messi picks up and goes on his first mazy dribble of the evening.
It certainly did look like it was a near corner, Rob, but Messi didn't give it up, did he? And then the ball appeared to be glued to his foot. Di Maria clearly takes the ball out of play. Tenacious as ever, Messi wins it back. The ball's glued to his foot. Carvalho comes to the rescue of Real Madrid in the end.
every Real Madrid player is called onto defensive duty. Xavi straight across the 6, clever free kick. It was a missed swipe from Alves. Now Messi flicks it in! Oh, wonderful attempt. Pure genius. He's in the mood.
It took him 2 or 3 minutes, didn't it, to get in the game, but he certainly has now.
Alves with the cross. It's all Barcelona in the opening stage of this game. They've got another corner. Well, there's no roof on this stadium. If there was, the fans would be raising it. 97,000, screaming and shouting. If you were lucky enough to buy a ticket today on the street, it would have cost you €500 a pop. Benzema's header out. Abidal to Alves. Fancies a shot from distance, and he had to see his concern.
Good early pressure from Barcelona. We're up to get into their passing game. And you see Messi curling it in off the far post almost. It's exactly what he's trying to do. Beat Casillas, chip Casillas. Casillas has got no chance. Xavi Alonso is there on hand as well. But an early glimpse of Messi there. But he worked all that attack himself. He won the corner, didn't he? And from the initial corner, shot from Alves was half a chance as well. And Messi nearly opened the scoring.
Well, it's pretty much as was forecast. Barcelona will attack. Mourinho's team will condense and absorb and try to spring the odd counter-attack with a fleet-footed Ozil and Di Maria and, of course, Cristiano Ronaldo. Piqué. Xavi. Busquets. Not such a measured pass from Busquets. There he goes. Cristiano Ronaldo. He's drawn Puyol from his century post. A quadruple step over from Cristiano Ronaldo. And he loses Puyol, puts the cross in. Falls for Di Maria. A drop of the shoulder from the Argentinian. Strong block. And Real's first attack of the evening comes to little.
It was a slightly different shape from Real Madrid, but Ronaldo started out wide on the right. Di Maria wide on the left. Ronaldo in recent matches. And Gonzalo Higuain has been playing down the centre of the pitch, centre of attack. And I think that's part of the defensive solution for Jose Mourinho, to play Ronaldo wide, Angel Di Maria wide on the other side, try and stop the Barcelona fullbacks coming forward as much as they normally do.
Piqué, little layoff from Pedro to Xavi, to Pedro. Xavi to Alves. Lionel Messi. Strong arm tactics from Barcelona. Alves stopped by Marcelo. Messi picks up. Football being played at breakneck speed by Barcelona. Pedro. Alves. Put the ball through. Messi's onside, perfectly timed. Lays it inside. Pepe's having a very good game at centre-half for Real Madrid.
Yeah, he read that pass from Messi really well. And Messi's movement off the ball. From a standing start, he changes pace, loses anyone who's anywhere near marking him. He can find space in the most congested of areas.
Xavi. Controlling his manner. Messi. Caressing the ball to Iniesta. He has Villarreal outside. Oh, plays it inside. Great tackle, but no! He's finished off by Xavi! Not the greatest goal you're ever going to see, but a mightily important goal for Barcelona. A huge slice of luck gives Barcelona the lead.
It is a slightly lucky goal, Rob, but to see Xavi that far advanced up the pitch and broke the offside trap. He's fortunate, he's alert with the finish. But Real Madrid were defending deep. Talk of Barcelona keeping it low-key this week. You can see the reaction from the players there when Xavi scored, the delight that they can open the scoring. Iniesta, slide rule pass. Xavi just in an onside position. He gets lucky with the first touch, but he's got the awareness. He's got the ability there to beat Casillas with a deft little flick with his right foot. opens the scoring for Barcelona. Xavi in the centre forward position.
Ballet-like balance from Xavi. That was magical. Now, what do Mourinho's team have about them now? They've only been behind in one game this season. That was against Hercules, but as we know, they remain unbeaten. And a special one braves the rain. It was hyped up, his return to the Camp Nou. We were expecting a pig's head or something like that to be thrown onto the field. All animal body parts were confiscated before the game. But when Mourinho did come out, the reception was lukewarm for the former linguist. Messi, side down. Oh no! Referee said that Xavi Alonso called him furling. Benzema. Cristiano Ronaldo. Great ball inside. Ozil. Di Maria spots the gap. Big save by Valdez. I guess he's not hurting now.
That's a big save. So soon after Barcelona have opened the scoring. Good work here from Angel Di Maria. Deflection off of Dani Alves as well. See Xavi Alonso there. I think he gets enough of the ball with the tackle with Messi. Real Madrid trying to fight back.
Well, that was a test of the shoulder injury for Valdez. A test that he's passed with flying colours. Ozil, the Clasico debutant, puts in the corner. There's Barcelona's only debutant trying to run out. No foul again. The referee has shown his style. He's letting everything go.
Well, I think it helps us, Rob, as well. With the enjoyment of the game, if he can keep it flowing. And of course, if there are any serious challenges, bad fouls, he has to deal with that.
Fractionally offside against David Villa, and the only man making his Clasico debut tonight for Barcelona. Pepe. Iker Casillas. Alves to Busquets. Barca boxing the game in these early stages. Real Madrid can't get a kick. Lionel Messi has been a bit part player so far. Caressing the ball to David Villa, past one. Runs into a bit of a cul-de-sac. Comes backwards through Busquets. Iniesta tries to play the 1-2 off the defender. And this is what we expect from Real Madrid. Quick counter-attacking. There was a foul off the ball there. Again, good advantage given as it's at the feet of Cristiano Ronaldo. You never quite know what's going to happen. A top pass by him. That could have been a very embarrassing own goal by Abidal. And another important save by Valdez. He had to put his hand in the way of that, Gerry.
Well, he's had to, and Real Madrid look really dangerous on the counter-attack, Rob. It's the pattern of the game that we expected. Important touch from Abidal. Valdez flicks it round the post for a corner.
Interestingly, Barcelona don't bring everybody back. They've left 3 out of the penalty area here. And as Ramos climbs high, leading with the arms.
I think Barcelona, Rob, are having far too easy possession in the attacking third of the pitch, though, and something that Jose Mourinho should be concerned about. But when they break on the counter-attack, likes of Ronaldo, Di Maria, Benzema, Mesut Ozil, they do look a threat.
David Villa to Abidal. Never available Xavi. Iniesta. They could be the 2 rivals for the World and European Player of the Year. This man Lionel Messi thinks that one of the Spanish World Cup winners will get it this year.
Well, they're stretching the Real Madrid back four, Rob, and they're trying to open up a gap between Carvalho and Pepe. We've had so many chances now, and they're really trying to do it, trying to put that little through ball through between the two centre-forwards for an angle run from an attacking player. I'm sure that's something Guardiola has looked at, studied in his preparations to play against Real Madrid.
Just a point separating the two teams. Real Madrid unbeaten under Jose Mourinho. Barcelona a point behind them. They've won their last 6 league games in a row. They've scored at least 3 goals in their last 5 matches. They are the entertainers. There's the biggest of the lot, little Messi. Busquets. Iniesta. Has to be said, Real Madrid seem content to allow Barcelona possession of the ball. They'll have come here with a plan. Despite that early goal, they'll be intent on sticking to it. They always knew there'd be an early bluster from Barca. Busquets. He's got the place in midfield tonight ahead of Mascherano. They've been sharing duties. Clearly, he's ahead in the pecking order of the Argentinian national captain.
I think he fully understands that role, Robert, playing in front of Puyol and Piqué. He drops in an awful lot as well and plays between the two central defenders when both of the Barcelona fullbacks push on an attack. He's got a good understanding of the game, of a player only 22 years of age.
Iniesta, every Barcelona pass being greeted by an Ole. Messi. Any player who likes to take more than one touch. Pedro. Xavi has it. It's a foul off the ball by Marcelo, acknowledged by the referee. Barca continue through David Villa, toe-to-toe with Ramos. Gets the cross in! 2-0 Barcelona! A flying Pedro! Jose's not smiling now.
Well, you have to just admire that football there. It was Ole after Ole. About 25 passes. And again, Real Madrid didn't make a tackle. They've got to get more physical. They've got to confront the blue and red shirts of Barcelona. They're getting back in position, getting back behind the ball. But it's far too easy for Barcelona in the attacking third of the pitch. They're stretching the Real Madrid back four. They're getting runners from deep, runners from wide positions. Real Madrid just can't cope at the moment. You see the ball switched out wide to David Villa. He's taking on Ramos. He's only going to try and get to the byline, drive it across the 6-yard box. And Pedro, great play from the opposite winger, comes in field, cuts inside, and is there on hand to tap him from just a yard out.
Well, they need a quick response here, Real Madrid. They may get it from Ozil, who tries a backflip. That will not go down well with the Madristas. Their team losing 2-0, less than 20 minutes gone. Busquets to Iniesta. Oh, great ball through. Ooh, it's given offside. That was a reflex reaction from the referee's assistant, accepted by David Villa.
I have to say, Rob, the football watch at the moment is absolutely immense. We're watching a really special team here.
Yeah, he was, wasn't he?
Yep. And again, too much time for the Barcelona midfield players to try and find the pass. And they can find the pass, by the way.
Time for Real Madrid to dig deep. Come out of their defensive shells. They've got to change their style of play now. It's interesting watching the body language on the touchline. Guardiola's making every tackle, contesting every decision. Mourinho stands there, silent, hands in pocket. many attempts? 5 attempts at goal so far for Barcelona, just the 1 for Real Madrid. Important start, his top left-hand corner of the screen. 2-0 Barca. Cleverly disguised pass by Xavi Alonso to Benzema. Would love to establish himself tonight. Benzema with a cross, comes shot.
I think he's crossing this towards the far post, Rob. He did well to work himself some space, nice and bright from the set piece. Doesn't trouble the Barcelona defence there. But psychologically, with Barca having won the last 4 Clásicos, going ahead so early, 1-0, now 2-0. We know there's 4 debutants tonight for Real Madrid in the Clasico matches, but there's enough players here that have been on the receiving end of those last 4 defeats. Mentally, they're going to find it hard to find a way back. Barcelona absolutely dominant at the moment.
Messi. Pepe stretches again. Ball falls kindly to Iniesta. Scrambled away by Iker Casillas. Real Madrid are rattled. Cristiano Ronaldo. Well, it's quite fitting that it's Xavi and Pedro who scored the goals. Xavi, for so many years, the unsung hero here. Pedro, who scored 23 goals last year, always scores in the big events. Scored in every competition that he played in for Barca last season, and he doesn't get the plaudits. Now we have an off-the-ball incident here. The referee's had to stop play in the centre circle. And there's a bit of a brawl going on.
We thought there would be an edge to the game, didn't we, Rob? But there's been 1 or 2 tackles, but nothing untoward as yet. I'm certainly sure that not only Jose Mourinho but the Real Madrid players will start to get frustrated.
Show of petulance from Cristiano Ronaldo and his fellow countryman Mourinho also moaning. Vidal. Oh, look at this football, it's sublime. And they're not just siding apart any team, they're siding apart Real Madrid.
We saw them score 8 last week, didn't we, against Almeria? 2 before the 20-minute spell in this match. As you quite rightly said, well, not against anybody, against a Real Madrid team that are undefeated this season.
Mourinho has never won as a coach at the Camp Nou. Pedro, scorer of the second goal, with time and thinking space. Rounds Marcelo, puts in yet another cross. And he had to be knocked out of play by Ramos, who's getting little support. There's one almighty inquest going on down there amongst the Real Madrid defenders as well.
It's a really shaky back four at the moment, Rob. The full-backs can't contend with the wingers. The 2 central defenders are struggling to pick up forward runners coming from deep.
Taken short. Real caught napping once more. Alves flips it over the top. It's carnival football at the moment from Barca.
I did wonder, Rob, before the game whether Barcelona would still have their massive amount of possession that they have almost against every other team. And I thought Real Madrid tonight would have enjoyed a fair share of the possession, but it's no different. Barcelona playing no different tonight than they do against any other team in the division, in the league. Real Madrid just can't keep the ball, can't keep possession, can't mount any serious attacks to the Barcelona defence.
Villa blocked by Pepe, the one player who can hold his head up high at the moment. He's been overworked. Xavi Alonso. Miscontrolling. Mourinho just wish the referee would blow for half-time now so he can lay into his players.
He has made the slight change, just Ronaldo and Angel Di Maria swapping wings. Nothing that's changed the shape of the team.
Messi. And he hasn't taken a grip of the game yet. Xavi. Pedro. Alves bombing ahead of him. Played the ball too early and Carvalho Walks it out of defence. Pedro. Casillas is resigned to just lumping it over the halfway line. Puyol, he'll have enjoyed that header into the old enemy. Ronaldo. Very poor pass from Cristiano Ronaldo. Messi. Valdez, Xavi. Benzema is suffering with a bit of a back injury on the halfway line. They don't want to be carrying anybody around Madrid. It's all hands to the pump at the moment.
It is, and they're really getting the runarounds rather than as Barcelona keep possession as they did for that second goal. But they're not only keeping possession, they're playing with purpose as well. They're getting the ball forward quickly, keeping it on the ground. The movement off the ball is absolutely fantastic. The technique we expect from Barcelona.
We've seen them do this to some lesser teams in the Champions League, Panathinaikos and Rubin Kazan and Copenhagen. But tonight, they're mesmerising Madrid. It's a mismatch at the moment. That's onside. Pedro's there before Casillas. Another scare.
Well, Casillas is remonstrating with the assistant referee, but I think he needs to remonstrate with one or two of his defenders. They're just not tracking runs. They're trying to play offside. Hasn't worked on a couple of occasions now. They got away with that one, but they can't keep playing in this manner at the back. They have to defend properly, track runners, and try and put a stop to the Barcelona attacking play.
Well, they've had most of the possession, Barcelona. We all know that. Let's give you the statistics on that at the moment. 72% in the possession to Barca. I think we've been generous to Real Madrid with a 28%.
Yeah, they have at times been bright on the counter-attack. You expect, because of the reputation of the players, when you see Benzema, Ronaldo, Di Maria running with the ball, you expect something to happen. Barcelona work so hard off the ball to win the ball back. They just enjoy having possession of the football.
Well, don't discount any Jose Mourinho side. Well, they've been torn apart by Barcelona at the moment. Been taught a footballing lesson. Messi. Busquets. A backflip from Busquets. Messi. Xavi. Alves. Real Madrid legs getting very tired down there in the rain in Catalonia. Alves with a cross. Carvalho intercepts. Even Iker Casillas looks speechless.
Again, it's another supply of a cross from out wide. Be it Pedro or Dani Alves on the right, David Villa or Abidal on the left.
Great tackle by Puyol, the warrior, the captain. Only his second ever appearance was against Real Madrid back in '99. Came on in the 32nd minute of that match. Now a veteran of over 20 games against his old rivals. Scored a goal in the 6-2 a couple of years ago.
Certainly plenty of intent on that challenge, wasn't there? From Ronaldo. He'll do his utmost to make sure his team do keep the clean sheet.
Abidal to Piqué. This game, of course, being played on a Monday night because they had elections in Catalonia yesterday. And the result that anybody wanted to know was not from the elections, but the result of this Grand Clasico. Well, Real stay top, which is looking unlikely. Well, Barcelona take over yet again, something they tend to do every year.
They just have so much trust in each other with possession of the ball, Rob, that if Xavi is marked heavily, his teammates will still pass the ball to him. Likewise with Iniesta, Pedro, David Villa. Now responds being put under pressure by the ball. Here we see David Villa against Ramos. He's going to drive to the byline. It's not the greatest defending from Ramos. Casillas gets a slight touch. Pedro on hand, gets across the defender at the far post for the second goal for Barcelona.
Cristiano Ronaldo is losing his cool, and he's dragged out of a situation by the referee, Gerry Gonzalez. And he's managed to draw the wrath of the whole Barcelona team. Even Victor Valdez, who's rushed 50 yards to say his bit to Cristiano Ronaldo. Valdez is in danger of getting sent off here. He's gone absolutely berserk.
The goalkeeper's got no right to be in that area of the pitch. It's got nothing to do with him. He should keep out of it. Ill-discipline could cost Barcelona.
Remember Valdez getting into an incident with Jose Mourinho. Now this is... that's what it's all about. Guardiola would have gone down, but he didn't want to dirty that very expensive coat.
It's much ado about nothing, isn't it?
A petulant push.
He's frustrated. He's been chasing the ball around. This season in particular, he's used to having possession of the ball, not having to do too much defensive work. But he's working hard tonight for his team to try and win the ball back. But Barcelona just knocking it round him and the other white shirts, not just Ronaldo.
And the referee flashing cards. It appears that Valdez was the first to receive a caution, and then Cristiano Ronaldo. Booking for Victor Valdez, who got into a pushing match with Mourinho last year when he was an Inter Milan manager. And Cristiano Ronaldo has to watch his step now, having also been booked.
Listen, Rob, it hasn't gone well for Ronaldo and Real Madrid at the moment, but the class and quality of the player, Barcelona will find it hard to contain him for the 90 minutes. It's going to be difficult for them to come back from 2 goals down, but they have the individual talent to create a goal out of nothing and still can find a way back into this game.
What a busy week we have of football tomorrow night. West Ham against Manchester United. I'm sure the players of both teams will be looking for motivation from this one on Sky Sports 1, HD1 as well. 7:30 start in the Carling Cup. Real staging a bit of a fight back here. It's a foul off the ball, free kick, and we'll have another yellow card to David Villa.
There was a foul by David Villa on Semi Khedira. Again, another example of the work ethic from the Barcelona players. Trailing leg just catches Khedira. 2-0 ahead. David Villa doing more than his fair share. Chasing back, trying to win possession of the ball.
Well, David Villa does have a bit of a hot head. He was sent off earlier in this season against Athletic Bilbao. Tends to get a red card a season. Now, you can't see from your pictures at home, but it's teeming down in the Camp Nou. Ball will be very difficult for Valdez to handle if Ronaldo can first of all get it around that 8-man wall. Cristiano Ronaldo poses, draws the wrath of the supporters and just cuts it just wide. He felt there'd been a save. He'd like to give Valdez some credit for that.
And it's the free kick known as the tomahawk, isn't it, here in Spain now?
The didn't take a touch from anybody, did it?
It didn't. It came close to touching Busquets, but it didn't.
Ozil's corner is a poor one. It falls to Lionel Messi. He's been dormant for most of the first half, Messi. That's when he's most dangerous. Pepe tries to wrap his arm around him and can't stop him. Now there will be a yellow card. There were extra defenders after Pepe. One would argue with Lionel Messi that it was maybe an obvious goal-scoring opportunity, but it's got to be a yellow.
He's so persistent in trying to stay on his feet, isn't he? He evades tackles, they barge him, they knock him. He doesn't go to ground. He's got wonderful balance. The right decision from the referee there is clearly fouled by Pepe. Not once, but twice.
It was hardly a rugby tackle, it was more a tackle, wasn't it? We've had a rash 3 minutes. 4 yellow cards in the space of 3 minutes. Now, David Villa is offside. He's falling out with the referee. That's the only danger for Barcelona, that somebody does something foolish.
Yes, it does. It gives it an edge to the game, doesn't it? They're 2-0 ahead. David Villa with a bit more concentration there. Could have beat the offside trap there.
Benzema. Ball flown to Marcelo. Squeezes it to Di Maria. Puts his weight into the cross. And strong defending from Puyol. Had it gone out for a goal kick. Sorry, corner kick, Puyol.
There's Real Madrid trying to find a way to get that player into the game. Mesut Ozil. Been in sensational form for Real Madrid this season. We haven't seen enough of him tonight in this game.
They're not getting it past the first man at the near post with their corners, Real Madrid. Pepe flies in. Good tackle by him. Angel Di Maria. Di Maria's cross. There's a spare man at the far post, but Abidal rises high. There. Kicks it to safety. Well, this is the Gran Clasico, El Derby they call it in Spain. That's the Midlands Derby, Wednesday night, Birmingham City against Aston Villa, 7:30 start, Sky Sports 1 HD1 in the Carling Cup Live. Benzema tries to thread it through, can't be offside, it came off a Barca defender, and there's a cry for a penalty. Ronaldo, having been booked a few minutes ago, can't argue. That smile is painted on his face, it's not a real one. He had a case, didn't he? Had a very good case.
Well, I'm so sure, Rob, I think Valdez does get a touch of the ball. And I think Ronaldo is going to ground, hoping Valdez is going to touch him on the fall down. He does make contact with the goalkeeper.
I think Valdez quite enjoyed wrapping his legs around Cristiano Ronaldo after the ball had been toe poked out of play.
Certainly a risk he should be taking.
Messi to Xavi. Alves, disguised pass, look one way, passed it the other. He doesn't get overconfident though. Xavi, Busquets, quick-footed football. As we approach the final 5 minutes of the first half, Real Madrid are beginning to find their feet. Puyol. The people of Catalonia are thriving on this. For many years they felt they were the oppressed under the Franco regime, and football was the best way of expressing their intentions. Now their footballers are ensuring that they're ruling Spain. Marcelo, Di Maria. Just nothing is working for Real Madrid.
No, we've got to stick with it. Just wondering whether Jose Mourinho rules the decision not to play the extra midfield player.
Lionel Messi gets into his stride and lets off one of his little sticks of dynamite.
It's 9 consecutive games he's scored goals in. He's had a couple of decent attempts tonight. Again, working his magic. Predominantly all left foot there. Gets the shot in from distance, can't hit the target on this occasion. Look at the balance and the skill, the touch.
Benzema drifts inside. This is Ozil. Marcelo. Xavi Alonso hardly had a touch of the ball tonight. It's been Xavi, not Xavi, who's been dictating the pace of the play. Alves.
You mustn't forget, Rob, this Real Madrid team is very new. The amount of money they've spent in the last 2 years in pursuit of this Barcelona team makes the Clasico bigger and bigger every season. But young players, as you said, 4 debutants in the team this year, new signings, a whole host of new signings last year. You're going to have to stick with it. It's a young team, as Jose Mourinho said, not experienced.
Messi has stolen the ball. He doesn't have support. He might have to go solo. He's drawn Pepe, but what a brilliant tackle that was by Pepe.
It's a daunting prospect there for Pepe, wasn't it? 1 against 1 against Lionel Messi. But he stood up well, timed his tackle to perfection.
3 minutes remain in the first half. Real Madrid could score a goal now. It certainly changed the mindset. Ronaldo fighting off Alves, gets the cross in, but there's a second defender there in the shape of Piqué.
And you see Messi stole the ball off of Ramos. He's bearing down on goal. Time to perfection, the challenge for Pepe there. But it had to be.
Ozil's corner, Arriba away is the cry from Valdez. Alonso. Ozil volleys the ball into the area. Puyol intercepts. There's an offside anyway.
David Villa in there again, threatening that rather high line the Real Madrid defence are holding, running from deep.
Di Maria works his way through. He just hasn't been able to get into the flow of things. The referee telling him to get onto his feet as well. Cristiano Ronaldo. No. That was at best speculative. It was quite interesting before the game, Terry, because Mourinho was saying that he wasn't too happy with the appointment of Iturralde Gonzalez. Guardiola was very happy, ever the statesman. But it's something that the referee could be playing for this Real Madrid performance. Oh, Messi goes down off the ball there. Now, he's not one to take a dive, but there was a connection with Carvalho, and this is a big call for the referee.
I'm not sure why Carvalho got involved with Messi. He made a good tackle. It wasn't a dive from Messi, it was a fair challenge from Carvalho, who then accused Messi of diving.
Well, the referee is telling Messi to get onto his feet. And he shows the yellow card to the Barcelona man. Now, Messi has accepted it.
You can see the initial challenge from Carvalho. It's a good challenge. No complaints from Messi. Carvalho was remonstrating with the referee that Messi had dived. There's an elbow there from Carvalho. Might not have been the most forceful elbow, but it was an elbow. And I think Carvalho can count himself fortunate. The referee didn't see. I don't think he's seen that, Rob. I think he's seen Messi go to ground and he's guessed.
The thing is, Terry, from the first angle, it looked nothing. From the second angle, it did look like a forearm or back arm across his face, didn't it?
And Messi got booked.
Well, he did rather play act. And it's not in Messi's makeup to go down like that either. Iniesta. Villa waits for the pass. That's a poor pass by Iniesta.
I think the passing in the latter stages of the first half, the quality has just gone down slightly from Barcelona. They've good opportunities to play attacking players in. Perhaps the weight of the pass hasn't been right, the accuracy of the pass hasn't been right. But there's still plenty left in this game, Rob. Real Madrid certainly not out of it. It's going to be difficult.
Side to Xavi Alonso. It's the creative department of Real Madrid which has been very shy in the opening 46.5 minutes of this game. Iniesta. David Villa. Back to Puyol. Remember that Barcelona went 21 years without defeat against Real Madrid at the Camp Nou. They've won the last two here, and they're in a very good position in the first half. Well, it's living up to the expectations, the most eagerly anticipated game of football in Europe. It's Barcelona who are bossing it. Shows of petulance from Cristiano Ronaldo, one of 5 players booked in the first half, both he and Lionel Messi. Their names are in the book, though their names are not on the score sheet. The scorers in the first half, Xavi and Pedro. Now, Jose Mourinho has these wonderful powers of motivation. In the recess, he's really going to have to use them. All of the smiles are on the faces of the people of Catalonia so far. At the Camp Nou, it's 2-0, Barcelona.
We will review El Clasico Part 1 on Tuesday on Revista de la Liga. We'll have all the goals from week 13 and much analysis of the Barcelona-Real Madrid fixture from 10 tomorrow, Sky Sports 1. Don't forget to join us for that. Half-time at the Camp Nou. Barcelona on course to reign in Spain and establish a 2-point lead over Real Madrid because they lead by 2-0 at half-time against their arch-rivals. Talking of the rain, we've moved out of it. It was soaking wet pitchside, so we're in a slightly different part of the stadium where we dry at the moment. Mark Hughes and Gerry Armstrong with us. Mark, in essence, where have Real Madrid been undone in that first half?
Well, I think basically it's a complete performance by Barcelona. It's very, very difficult. Real Madrid are a very accomplished team, but even they can't get anywhere near. Cannot get anywhere near Barcelona. The movement and the accuracy of their passing, the angles of their passing is really a joy to behold. And you see guys that have complete control of their body and their movements. Xavi actually is onside there, so he's clearly. I mean, his control of his body, his understanding where he is on the football field and adjusting and still having the presence of mind to finish it as he did. Absolutely superb goal.
Gerry, we're seeing the power of Barcelona's versatility here, aren't we? They can pop it around nice and short and then all of a sudden send one ball and pull the team apart.
Yeah, but Mark's right. You know, we're talking about it's a complete performance from Barcelona. You know, it's not about Messi. Messi's done brilliant, but so too has Iniesta, so too has Busquets. The passing, the little triangles, and they just keep possession, and they're opening them up. at will. It's been an exhibition for the first half hour, and you see spur player on the left hand side, David Villa, one-on-one with Ramos, past him, shots partially blocked, Pedro's in the middle to tap it in. But they've done this right throughout the first half hour, and they've won more individual battles on the park, and that's why they're winning 2-0, and it could be a lot more than that, Mark.
They came flying out of the blocks, the champions, tonight. Messi hit the post early on. Has Mourinho got this right, Mark? He's trying to keep the back four fairly compact, which means that Barcelona always, it seems, no matter who drops back to help the back four, always have that spare man wide.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, they always keep the width to their play, and obviously Real Madrid are trying to keep their full-backs close to the centre-halves. They don't want that space in between the centre-halves and the full-back areas for Barcelona to exploit. But it's very, very difficult. Time and time again, Barcelona drawing Real Madrid players over to the side where the ball is, and then very quickly they change their point of attack to the other side of the field, and they can't react quick enough, Real Madrid, and as a consequence they get stretched, and that's when Barcelona pick them off.
It's only 2-0. It isn't over yet. Should well have had a penalty in that first half, Gerry.
It's a debatable one. I thought, you see Karim Benzema playing the ball in, and I thought he got a part of it, the goalkeeper for me. Victor Valdez gets a good chunk of it with his hands. I can't really see that as a penalty kick, but they would have taken it. They've not really had many chances. I think one long-range shot from Ronaldo that Victor Valdez had to save, but they haven't had enough of the ball, and that's all credit to Barcelona. As I say, they've dominated most of the first half.
Mourinho has been speaking, hasn't he, for days, fellas, about the fact he feels that Raúl González, the referee, is a Barcelona man because he's refereed this fixture twice before, and both times Barca have won it. I wonder if we should have seen red potentially for this incident. What did you make to this? It seems that Guardiola was the instigator, but can Ronaldo react like that?
Well, he was at that point, obviously, I think they were 2-0 down at that point, and they were obviously getting a little bit upset with everything that was going on. And the Barcelona manager has antagonised Ronaldo there, but it's what we talk about at the beginning of the game about is the petulance that on occasions he does show. So the referee could have interpreted that in a completely different way than he actually did, so he's quite lucky.
He needs to instill belief at half-time that they can come out and do something, Real Madrid, at least not get pumped here in the second half, Gerry. But does he need to instill some more discipline again? I'm thinking back to Carvalho and Messi. Yeah, I mean, Carvalho, Messi, Pepe, Ronaldo, there's several incidents, and I think it's a frustration. They've had very little of the ball. This is their first real test, and you can see there Carvalho throws it was more like a shoulder rather than an elbow that comes back and hits him, but you can't raise your arm, and Messi wasn't going to do anything. Carvalho started having a go at him, remonstrating, and the shoulder comes back there, and another referee could have construed that totally different. He's fortunate, I think, to be on. 2-0 then, but we do still have 22 men on the park, which is what Mourinho asked for. It's not over yet. You get the feeling, though, it's either going to be a thumping or an absolute classic.
She said, hey, Barcelona, baby, keep on working, for this ain't no time to drink. She said, go, Barcelona, baby, keep on dancing, cause I ain't got time to think. Barcelona, Barcelona.
And it won't take long to burn. All eyes on me. Through the nothing that you learn. All eyes on me. And the things you choose to be. All eyes on me.
Welcome back to the Camp Nou. Barcelona against Real Madrid. Says it all. Now, Jose Mourinho gave a short team talk. His players were sent out early for the second half. He was sitting on the bench as well, and he's taken action at half-time. Lassana Diarra is coming on. Mesut Ozil is the player who's going to be sacrificed for the second half.
I think it's a mission there from Jose Mourinho that he probably did get the wrong team selection at the start of the game. As I said, you cannot write Real Madrid off. One goal can completely change this match, change the mentality of the team in white shirts. But can Barcelona dominate possession again, as they did in that first 30 minutes? with devastating effect.
Well, Barcelona have bossed the first half. They've had the steamroller effect on Real Madrid, who've been chasing around. A lot of petulant little arguments going on. Cristiano Ronaldo, one of 5 players on their final warning, having been cautioned. Here's the game that's had everything. Been played on a freezing cold November's night here in Catalonia. Well, Jose Mourinho has pulled off some great victories in the past. Tonight he needs to pull off a great recovery.
It would be a hell of a turnaround if they can get back into the game. As I said, 2-0 can be a dangerous lead. You don't want to be complacent. If Real Madrid get the next goal, they'll believe they can get back and get the equaliser. I'm sure Guardiola had been telling his players at half-time to keep a calm head. That's what they did so well in the first 30 minutes. They didn't get wrapped up in the occasion. They played their football as they do against any other team. And they certainly got the end result for them.
Messi to Alves, flip over the top, David Villa. For the umpteenth time, it seems tonight has gone a fraction too early.
If you can just be a bit more selective on those, on the timing of the runs forward from David Villa. There's a big gap between the defenders there. He is clearly offside. Pedro as well.
Ronaldo plays it short to Benzema. Marcelo attacks for the first time in the game. Marcelo half blocked by Alves, and now Pedro chests it back in his own 6-yard box to Valdez, which maybe illustrates the confidence flowing through the Barcelona veins.
Yep, they can be confident, but they mustn't be complacent. Guardiola would have urged his players, and I'm sure Carlos Puyol as well would have do everything in their power to keep a clean sheet. Don't let Real Madrid back in it.
There's Lionel Messi taking on all comers right across the 18-yard box. Loose ball in the area. Pepe flies in. Comes to David Villa. Tremendous stop. Real Madrid having to throw bodies in the way as Barcelona continue in the second half what they started in the first. Oh, there was a push in there apparently. The referee has given a free kick to Real Madrid. Mighty relief in the capital.
I think it's Pedro throwing his weight around in the 18-yard box there. The reason why that goal was disallowed. But a superb run from Messi.
Iniesta runs out of space. He's got a free kick there off Carrera.
He states in the obvious, wanted to say that. I think Messi carries the goal threat. You see Pedro there, just leaning in towards Pepe.
Alves to Xavi. They shuffle the ball around at breakneck speed. Messi, little pirouette. Xavi. An overcooked cross. Well, they are great, but they're also human as well, Barcelona.
Yeah, and the reason they had success in the first half, when they got in those wide positions, they drove to the byline. They cut really good crosses right across the 6-yard box. As for the Pedro's goal, the second goal for Barcelona, they have to try and do that. They can't just sling high crosses into the box. Carvalho and Pepe will win those easily.
One ball is played toward David Villa. Barcelona very sportingly slowed the play down there because Asana Diarra appeared to have fallen heavily on his arm. Now they quicken the pace, and here is Diarra, the warrior who's been sent on for the second half. Well, that was the hand injury, and that was the apology from Xavi. Messi playing a more central role in the second half. That's allowing Marcelo to break free. There's little that Jose Mourinho can do if his players can't pass over 12 yards.
It was a good opportunity for them, and a little bit of a counter-attack there. Asana Diarra will try and stiffen things up in midfield. In 5 minutes of this half, he's been shadowing Xavi in particular. It's not an easy task, is it?
Abidal. Iniesta. Sana Diarra clatters into him. Kedira. Pepe. There's a few in white shirts out there who appear to be in hiding.
I said, Rob, it's mentally it's tough when you haven't had much possession. They've been used to.
Alonso flies into his old friend Sergi Busquets, of course, World Cup winning colleagues. And they had a big handshake and a pat on the back as they came out for the game before, but old pal Tax are forgotten as Alonso leaves his mark on his old mate.
By rights, Rob, they should be playing 20 yards apart. They should never be near making a tackle against each other. Both anchoring their midfield in front of their back four. Xabi Alonso trying to stimulate his teammates, trying to ensure that they don't give up, that they still have that belief they can get back into the game.
That was the 6th yellow card of the game. Alves to Pedro. Xavi. Lionel Messi. Head down, drawing defenders, threading it through to Xavi, could save! That's the side of the net and not the back of the net. That would have been good night Real Madrid.
You know, Rob, when they were making that run across midfield there was 3 or 4 different options on that Barcelona could have used. You know, sometimes in those positions you're looking for one option. Iniesta was here wide on the left, Messi's running through there. He spots Xavi again, making that forward run from midfield. There's 2 opportunities, can't get the 3rd goal, which will kill the game off.
As I see that replay, Kedira is trying a crazy shot from the touchline. A special one is a beaten one at the moment.
Yep, but not finished yet. As I said, Roberts, you cannot write Real Madrid off with players like Ronaldo and Xabi Alonso. They have too much pride, too much ability to give up. They know one goal can get them back in the game. The mood of the game can change dramatically if Real Madrid get the next goal.
I'm sure that's something that Guardiola's impressed upon his players during the break. As you said, Terry, in the first half, no room for complacency because you will be punished, even though Real Madrid are a little off colour tonight. Just takes a second to inch their way back into the game.
Messi there with a through ball to Xavi. Just couldn't get the angle right in the finish. Hits it into the side netting. Mourinho must be finding this difficult. It's not been often in the last, 10 years that he's been on the receiving end of a team that's dominated possession, that's creating chances, giving his defenders a real run around.
Marcelo to Diarra. He runs into trouble. Xavi. Benzema wins it back. Diarra has been a busy boy since coming on. Alonso. Ramos can't steady it. Abidal. Busquets back. A bit of afters, but a handshake between Diarra and Sergi Busquets. Xavi. Busquets to Iniesta, the Spanish World Cup midfield. Here's the man who won the World Cup, Iniesta, threading it through. Marcelo had to stretch. Pedro would have been onside. Marcelo hits it long. They're just not finding Cristiano Ronaldo. Alves. Villa's gone too early again, so he has to hold his pass. Now Messi. Drifting, driving. David Villa. 3-0. Game over. Another typical Barcelona goal. Another typical Barcelona performance. But the team they're ripping apart tonight are Real Madrid.
It's a great partnership that's really blossoming now from Lionel Messi and David Villa. And again, far too much time afforded to the Barcelona attacking players without Real Madrid closing them down. They're relying, weren't they, again on trying to use an offside trap. But David Villa had time to run across the line, hold his run, right to the perfect moment.
Well, they're arguing, Real Madrid, that Villa was leaning offside. They're still arguing that he was offside. He wasn't waiting around.
No, I'm fully in the strikers' union, and I think the benefit should go to the attacking player. Wonderful first touch to take it away from the defender. Head down, gets the technique right, drives it towards the far post. Goal scorer's instinct, top striker.
Well, a casualty of that move was Pedro Rodriguez, who's been receiving treatment since the goal was scored. Iker Casillas, I believe, has been cautioned for his argument with the referee afterwards. Yellow card for the Real Madrid captain. So we'll make that now. 7 bookings. Both goalkeepers have been booked. It's that kind of game. Cristiano Ronaldo puts in the cross. Benzema came early. Alves, aware of his bearings, just helps it out.
See the frustration there on Iker Casillas. Barcelona have been absolutely awesome tonight. Wonderful in possession. As you said, we mentioned earlier, they got 8 goals last week against Almeria, but this is 3 stunning goals against Real Madrid, unbeaten this season.
Benzema to Lassana Diarra. One back by Xavi. Now Busquets. Referee does well. Keeps it moving. It's moving very smoothly with Lionel Messi. Messi inside. Villa. Brilliant run by Villa. Can he finish it off? He can! It's 4 to Barcelona! Where did the goal stop?
Well, it's official now, Robbie, so turn it into a row. They just love that pass inside the fullback. The easy option is to give it to the wide player's feet and let him run at the defender. But they're so aware that the wide players will look to run across and get the pass, receive the pass inside the fullback. And essentially then it becomes a one-on-one versus the goalkeeper, and David Villa doesn't miss. A superb goal. This team are really, really special.
They look up to the heavens, Real Madrid. Gobsmacked. Where will it stop? Humiliation for Jose Mourinho and his troops.
You see that wonderful pass from Messi, but it's the angle of the pass, it's the movement of David Villa, and of course, let's not forget the finish. Outside of the right foot, underneath the advancing Casillas. Drops his shoulder, jinks past 2 defenders.
Hold on, there's a back pass there, and Iker Casillas has to come off his line. Messi is given offside. It's Sunday League defending from Real Madrid.
It is, Rob. They're on the ropes. This season they've dominated all the games they've played in. And I must admit, I haven't been convinced this season about Real Madrid. I was waiting for a real big test. This was their test tonight. And at the moment you have to say they're failing it miserably.
Well, Mourinho is going to bring on an extra defender in Arbeloa. It's damage limitation for Real Madrid. They've lost their shape, they've lost their will. Certainly they've lost their motivation. Marcelo, look at the tackle from Puyol. He enjoyed that, but he's actually injured himself in the doing.
Yep, he'll still be giving 100% in every challenge, every tackle. Make sure he's tracking forward runs from white shirts to make sure his team keep that clean sheet. He won't be complacent. He leads by example. Super captain.
Well, time for change. Interestingly, it's Marcelo, the left-back, who's going off. And going to be Arbeloa, who's coming on. Is that a reflection on Marcelo's performance?
It's probably something Marcelo's done in the last 5 minutes, Rob. And it looks like a reaction to the 2 goals that have just gone in.
Or not done. There have been 2 goals in the last 5 minutes. Alonso steps over the ball. Long, hopeful shot. Valdez watches it go wide.
As we mentioned earlier, Rob, this is a young Real Madrid team. A lot of the players in their early 20s, but they do have some catching up to do against Barcelona. It's been a long time since Jose Mourinho, manager of Porto, Chelsea, Inter Milan. It's been success all along the way. It's been a long time since he's been suffering, like most managers do, from time to time in a game like this.
Lionel Messi drives inside again. And the referee brings it back for the first of a succession of fouls on the little Argentinian. Busquets, Xavi, David Villa, looking for a hat-trick in his Clasico debut. The last time that Barcelona managed to score 4 goals against Real Madrid at the Camp Nou was the 93-94 season, and Romario scored a hat-trick that night.
Villa's got plenty of time to do it. He's got the motivation to go on and do it. The result is not going to be in doubt, but it's whether Barcelona really want to turn on the style, go on and score more goals.
Busquets, Xavi, the hat-trick hunting David Villa, Abidal. We have to put into context what a great performance this is from Barcelona. What a great team we're watching. Players at the peak of their powers. Real Madrid have lost only one of their last 36 matches. That was against Barcelona. The last time they were beaten, it was against Barcelona. They had record stats last year, Real Madrid. Record number of points, the best ever away wins, the most ever away goals. But they were still second best to Barcelona.
Well, Pellegrini was a casualty due to that, so close last season. And I think he did well last year, Pellegrini. I think we have to acknowledge that Barcelona are streets ahead of Real Madrid at the moment.
They scored 8 against Almeria. They're looking for their 5th as Messi miscontrols, allowing Pepe a sight of the ball. Slice it into the ground, much to their amusement.
I think, in fairness to Pepe, I think he's had a decent game tonight. Pedro, the back heel. Pepe's made some telling challenges. He's been aggressive when the need has been there to be aggressive. Too many of his teammates, I think, in defence tonight have really struggled against the movement and swift passing of Barcelona.
Messi's coming in for some rough treatment. Not the worst tackle he's going to endure tonight. Free kick taken too quickly as the referee asks Arbeloa to remove some jewellery, I believe. He's a brave man leaving it on that touchline. He's just taken his wedding ring off and left it on the touchline for the referee's assistant to dance over. Abidal. Xavi. The Olays have started again. It is a bit like watching a bullfight at the moment. Barcelona, the Matadors. Real Madrid, the wary ball. Busquets tries the shot from the halfway line, and Casillas had to watch that all of the way. They're trying to humiliate them.
Yep, that would have offended Casillas, and he didn't want to look as if he was trying too hard. At the last second, perhaps he thought he'd better make a save, at least try and make the effort. But he wouldn't have been too pleased with that from Sergio Busquets.
Busquets would have been taking the biscuit. Iniesta holds off Cadera, leaves Xavi Alonso on the floor. Now it's shuffled to Villa, to Iniesta again. PK. Incredible football. It is just a masterclass.
Some might say they were able to do this at 4-0 up, but they did it at 0-0, Rob. That's the reason they got those 2 goals in the first half, possession play. The second goal was memorable. The percentage of possession in the first half again in the 70%, was it 72% at one stage? It means they've only got to defend for 28% of the game. And that's where Real Madrid have struggled tonight. They haven't had the ball. They haven't been able to supply Ronaldo. Benzema, Higuain has been a miss for Real Madrid, it has to be said. You can see more goals coming for Barcelona.
Well, all of the scorers for Barcelona are Spanish players: Xavi, Pedro, Villa. Real Madrid have invested so heavily over the last couple of years. 81 million last summer. The summer before that, about 260 million. We're talking euros. It's pretty much 1 for 1 at the moment, euros and pounds. 8 of this Barcelona team have come through the club's La Masia, the academy system at the club. Born and bred Barcelona players through their teens. They've learned to play football very much the Cruyff way. Guardiola was a disciple of Cruyff. What a legacy it is. I think it could be argued they are now better than the dream team.
Look, just watching the back four of Real Madrid, they're trying to play the offside trap, all in different positions of the pitch.
Abidal to Xavi. Just holds off, waiting for the right pass, the safe pass. Abidal to Iniesta. Now they quicken the pace. Lionel Messi. Abidal to Messi. To Xavi. You're lost for words. It's hard not to repeat yourself at the wonderment of the football. It's hard not to be critical of Real Madrid. But they're just sparring partners at the moment, aren't they?
It is, and it's all one-touch and two-touch stuff. Moving off the ball, playing little triangles between 2 and 3 players. You're caught in the middle of a little triangle between Xavi, Iniesta and Messi. You've got no chance. But it's great pressure, Rob. That's what forced Real Madrid into giving away possession again. 4-0 up Barcelona. As soon as they lost it, 3 or 4 players all worked hard to try and put Real Madrid player under pressure and force them to give the ball back to them.
Barcelona has scored 17 goals in their last 4 home games. 12 goals in the last 2 La Liga matches. Messi, little back flick from Dani Alves, the number 2, the right back who's currently playing centre forward.
Yeah, he's getting busy now, Robert. 4-0 up, he wants to get on the goals sheet. And it certainly wouldn't be unusual for him.
Real play a high line. Barca go back to go forwards. Abidal. They make it look so simple. Control, pass, back flick, pass. It's frighteningly good.
I defy anybody apart from a Real Madrid supporter not to enjoy watching this Barcelona team play the way they do tonight. Yeah, they're enjoying it because they've done the hard work. They're in a commanding, a winning position.
Our words are supposed to complement the pictures. It's impossible to complement the way Barcelona are playing. Arbla to Benzema. Ronaldo again frustratingly doesn't get a pass at the ball. Busquets. Villa lets it go. A little body swerve. Abidal to Villa. Villa continues. He wants his name in lights. He wants to write his own piece of history and get his hat-trick through to Messi, who did get a hat-trick, of course, in his first ever Clasico. Iniesta. Xavi. Real Madrid unwittingly, unwillingly chasing the shadows that are cast by Barcelona, and they're going to be in their shadows as well. Barca are going to take control of La Liga again. Be a 2-point lead, but it's a gulf between the teams.
The home supporters really enjoying the possession.
Carvalho, handball. He's got to go. He goes from bad to worse to ridiculous for Real Madrid. Well, has he not just denied an obvious goal-scoring opportunity?
At 4-0 up, perhaps the referee's been lenient. Barcelona players not protesting too much. He was fortunate to get away with that slight elbow towards the face of Messi in the first half. Yes, it is a goal-scoring opportunity.
It's a deliberate handball.
It is. He misjudges the bounce of the ball. Puts his arm out to stop it. Pedro was in on goal. Could have been 1-0 or 0-0. I think you'd have seen more protests from Barcelona players.
Well, Barca probably show some professional sympathy to Carvalho. Goes flying in with the tackle there, but I think under any other circumstances that had to be a red card tonight.
Yeah. He's found it particularly difficult tonight, hasn't he, his team? So far this season, Real Madrid haven't had to defend. They haven't played the Sevillas and the Valencias and the Villarreals. This, for me, tonight was their real big first test. I wanted to see how they did defensively, and they've struggled tonight, it has to be said. And neither up against the elite of world-class players. But they don't look organised at the back. Their offside trap hasn't worked.
Ronaldo. Gerry. That was a rash challenge from Ramos. One of those, I think, a little worse than it actually was. Ramos goes over to his Spanish international teammate David Villa and asks a favour and asks him to get straight back up onto his feet to prevent the caution, which is going to come his way.
Slightly disappointed to see Puyol tear across there and trying to get his Spanish teammate in trouble, although he's protecting his Barcelona teammate, David Villa. It's not the worst tackle Ramos has ever made.
A little kick out of it. That's the 9th yellow card of the evening. I'm going to ask Gerry Armstrong, who's sitting alongside me, to translate. I wonder if they're singing "You're going to get sacked in the morning," Jose Mourinho.
They had to put the sprinklers on, didn't they, at the end of the Inter Milan game last season to dampen down the celebrations of Jose Mourinho. I bet he wished he could have put them on tonight after about 20 minutes to try and stop the Barcelona attack. His defence haven't been up to it.
Xavi to Iniesta. Abidal. Villa's misplaced pass. Alonso. Finds Ronaldo. Past one, but not past Busquets. Alves breaks. Perfectly timed. Lionel Messi into his little stride. Blocked by Lasana Diarra. Little delayed fall there from Lionel Messi. Ball is well won by Alves. The referee tells him to continue playing. You've got possession. There's a lunge from Cristiano Ronaldo. That's a lunge from Pedro as well. That'll be the 10th yellow card of the evening.
I'm pretty sure, Rob, we're not going to end up with 22 players on the pitch. Messi there, good tackle initially from Lasana Diarra, bumped over by Arbeloa. And Kadiri with a late challenge on Andres Iniesta. Probably the closest he's got to the Barcelona midfield player all night.
And Kadira may have to go off the field of play as well because he's got a blood-stained shirt. The referee having a little look at the nick on his shoulder blade. I'm just going to let him carry on for now. And he could be sweating blood, the amount of running he's done tonight.
chasing the ball, and it's so difficult for the Real Madrid players. Been used to being on top all season. Right from the first minute, Barcelona kept possession. I said he's another young player, Khedira. Mesut Ozil, only 22. Khedira, 23. Benzema's only 22 years of age. Rob Angel Di Maria, 22 years of age. So it's a young team, and Jose needs a little bit of patience. You see the delight of Pep Guardiola. Kept it low-key this week, wanted his team to do the talking on the pitch. They've done exactly that.
Well, David Villa isn't going to get his hat-trick tonight, but he gets a standing ovation from 97,000 Barcelona supporters. And joining the party is young Bojan. Maybe they're just protecting David Villa for a flurry of games coming up.
It's been a big night for David Villa, slightly overshadowed by Lionel Messi this season. To get 2 goals in your first Clasico.
Bojan's on the move, he's onside. Here's his first touch. His second touch he can't make. Pepe stops him in his stride. Good defending by Pepe. Had to have massive powers of recovery then.
He didn't give it up. It looked like Bojan lost his footing, didn't it? He was stumbling as he was on the run forward. Full marks again to Pepe, sticking to the task.
Messi. Lovely touch. Bojan. Now he's got his chance. Tremendous save from Iker Casillas. Keeping some pride for Real Madrid.
Some of the Real Madrid defenders well below there, in particular, gone missing, left his post completely. Messi's on a drought, 77 minutes.
There's another off-the-ball incident there, but it actually was preceded by an offside against Pedro. Another sloppy bit of defending has allowed Messi away here. Messi drives inside, twists and turns, but takes on one defender too many.
Yeah, that's better defending from Arbeloa. Helping out his teammate Carvalho.
From Khedira, who kicks the ball away. There'll be a lot of players inspired by this Barcelona. Go to Osasuna on Saturday night, 7 o'clock on Sky Sports 1 up in Pamplona. They'll be fearing playing them, and Jose Mourinho has to restore his team's confidence for Valencia on Saturday night, 9 o'clock on Sky Sports HD1 as well. Ramos to Diarra. Benzema. Ronaldo makes a move. Ronaldo gets the pass. He's shadowed by Piolo, who's just waiting for the right moment to make the tackle.
Sheer jubilation from the Barcelona players. Right from the first minute, they brought their A game into this game tonight. Frustration for Real Madrid. They've tried to keep going, but really, really difficult for them. They've seen how much work they've got to do now to try and catch up with Barcelona. Back-to-back titles. It's been a 5th Clasico on the trot that Barcelona are going to win.
Pedro. Let's it back off Ronaldo. Little back flick from Benzema. Alves wins the tackle. They're still making the tackles, Barcelona, and trying to prevent Real Madrid getting a consolation goal. Alves gets his body in the way. Benzema was taken down on the edge of the area, and that may be yet another caution. It is. It's Puyol who's in the book now.
Yeah, it's a late challenge, Rob. Hefty old challenge referee. Tried to play the advantage. You see, it's late, it's dangerous.
Heads up. There's the head of PK that was the bravest. Xavi. Messi to Bojan. Pedro.
Another player from the Cantera, the academy. Barcelona there with Bojan, adding to the numbers.
That's 9 then, isn't it? 9 of the 11 out there that come through the Barcelona system. Something like this man PK went away and then came back again.
That's why this team of Barcelona's hasn't been built overnight. Real Madrid are going to have to show patience. They've bought good players at a good age.
Ronaldo. Ramos to Di Maria. Overhit the cross. They just can't get out of Barcelona quick enough, Real Madrid. They've got another 8.5 minutes to endure.
And Di Maria's been in really good form. Shown really good potential that he's going to be a good signing. I'm sure he will, as I said, they're at a good age. Jose Mourinho's going to have to be patient. The Real Madrid president's going to have to be patient. So it could take some considerable while now for Real Madrid to catch Barcelona.
Well, that is some image, isn't it? The captain of Spain, arms folded, wishing he was somewhere else.
And he's saying it hasn't been a pleasant evening for him. And of course, this win will take Barcelona back to the top of the table.
Last 3 occasions these sides have played, Real Madrid have been ahead of Barcelona in the standings. Barcelona have taken over, taken control, and of course the last 2 seasons gone on to win La Liga. It'll be 5 successes in a row for Barcelona, home and away against Real Madrid. Xavi, Alves, here they go again. Busquets.
4 out of 5 of those, Rob, they haven't scored. Real Madrid as well.
Iniesta. Pedro. Alves. Iker wastes no time, he clears his lines, but he's given it away to Carlos Puyol, the opposing captain. Abidal. But when they hit Almeria for 8, their record away win in the last La Liga game, Pep Guardiola looked rather embarrassed because he must have thought about holding back. It was one of his old pals that was suffering. There's no holding back tonight. Can't exactly call Jose Mourinho an enemy, but he is his most bitter rival.
I think that's fair. Analysis, Rob, of the situation between the two. Healthy respect. They certainly don't want to get beaten by each other.
Puyol goes flying in. He's known around here as the man from the mountains, or Tarzan. There's another off-the-ball incident for the referee to adjudicate involving Arbeloa there. Away goes Alves. Pepe. It's probably been man of the match for Barcelona. At least Jose Mourinho tonight is find out who his warriors are.
I still think there's an admission of his mistake in not playing Lozano Diarra from the start of the game, and Gonzalo Higuain was ruled out for injury. I really did think they could have done with the extra midfield player. See Arbeloa there again with a foul on Pedro. Ozil was neither midfield nor in attack. It was probably a luxury that Real Madrid couldn't afford tonight here at the Camp Nou.
Well, awkward twist of the leg for Pedro. I think there's such a cramp there as well. The physio has been told to stay on the sidelines. Well, it's the derby debut for the new Barcelona president on the left-hand side there, Sandro Rosell. He likes what he's seen. Florentino Perez stuck behind Jose Mourinho, who has said since the early days of his tenure that it is a work in progress. He's not quite back to the drawing board for Real Madrid, but they have an indication of how far to go before they catch up with Barcelona.
Yep, and also, Rob, this is not tonight the end of the league championship as we saw last season. You know, it was defined over those 2 games. There's still 25 games to go in the league for both of these teams to play. I'm sure Barcelona will have nights where it doesn't all go according to plan. And I shut up on purpose there, Rob, to allow people at home to hear the ovation, the adulation for Xavi. Wonderful goal. A supreme maestro, the grand master of midfield players.
Well, the whole stadium acknowledges another immaculate performance from Gerry. Pedro gets a taste of the glory for about 3.5 minutes. Adriano, the Brazilian, will come on also for his Clasico debut, taking the place of another one of the scorers, Pedro. See again, smart management by Guardiola. He's taken off all of his scorers tonight and allowed them to receive the acknowledgement of their adoring Catalan public.
But he'll be back to work as usual for Barcelona and Pep Guardiola. He knows that's a difficult game at the weekend.
Bojan draws Ramos, then lost his own footing and gets a ticking off from the referee. Well, no league is ever won or lost in November, but it's on this day in November last year that Barcelona beat Real Madrid, and then for Real, for the rest of the season, it was catch-up. When it came to the final count on the final day, Real Madrid were 3 points behind Barcelona. Of course, in Spain, I'm sure you all are aware now that if the teams finish level on points at the end of the season, then it goes on the head-to-heads between the 2 teams. Di Maria. Cristiano Ronaldo, cue the moves. Chase to the corner flag by Pedro. He'll be having nightmares about Carlos Pedro tonight. But they're coming out from behind the curtains.
He's found it really difficult to play against Barcelona, whether it's for Manchester United or now Real Madrid. There's 3 games, and I have to say, Rob, in the second half, we've barely mentioned him. Never a game goes by, does it, where we're not constantly talking about Cristiano Ronaldo. But had no supply, hasn't been in the game, he's had no impact on the game whatsoever. Probably a long-range effort from a free kick was his sum total. Mentally, it's going to be a problem for him, but he's got the character to overcome it. You've seen his class, he's along with Messi, the 2 best players in the world. But neither of them have scored tonight. It's David Villa, it's Xavi, it's Pedro.
Keita. Vidal down the touchline. It's a great early cross from Adriano. Iker Casillas. The only other time he's conceded 4 goals this season was for Spain against Argentina.
His captain, Robbie, looks really cheesed off, doesn't he? I'm not sure that transmits the best emotional feelings possible to his teammates that are chasing the ball all night, having a hard time. I think Pepe has led by example tonight. He's kept going. It's been a real poor display by the back 4 from Real Madrid. They've relied on the offside trap, that hasn't worked.
Vidal. Good bullying defending on Di Maria. We did touch early on in the game that Barcelona had only one player who'd not tasted the Clasico experience before, and Real Madrid had a number of debutants in this situation, and it has told.
It has, but I think, in all honesty, Rob, I think the quality has been far better. That's been the difference between the two teams. Opening 20-minute spell from Barcelona, absolutely brilliant.
Now they're aiming for their fifth as we're into stoppage time. Bojan's cross, will it be 5? It will! And Briano joins the party. It's Jeffren, the substitute, has joined the party. A great goal for another one of the Barcelona boys who's come through the system.
Well, look at the celebrations, rather the players, the despair again of Real Madrid. Incisive attacking play, en masse. Every member of the squad, the coaching department, everybody's there. Piqué holding 5 fingers up. A 5-0 win against Real Madrid. More than the home supporters expected tonight. They expected a much more closer encounter. We can see there a beaten team from Real Madrid tonight. The youngster Jeffren breaks into the box. It's a wonderful cross. Not only is Jeffren on the end of it, another youngster, Bojan. Great cross across the face of the goal. They just can't get there first of all. I think it's Iniesta just misses out. Jeffren gets across Ramos, wraps it up 5-0. Perfect ending for Barcelona.
All that picture of all of the team celebrating together on the touchline will adorn the club's museum and the press room here, where they've got all of the pictures of the great games over the years. Oh, and another terrible tackle from Carvalho, and it's going to end very ugly, and there's a punch down there, and it's now getting very, very nasty. Well, the referee has sent off Carvalho, and he's got a series of other spats to sort out as well. There's pushing and shoving and arguing. A yellow card to Xavi amid the melee. And the medical men are working one of the Barcelona players as well. It's Lionel Messi who's down, who's apparently flawed. And also the referee saw that, is seeking advice from his assistants on the talkback. Well, that was the first foul. That was Carvalho's offence. And then Messi and Puyol both went to the floor. That was Messi taken down.
It was Ramos who, I think, takes down Messi. Jorge Busquets won't be pleased to see Spanish team fighting amongst each other. Puyol, Ramos, Xavi, Piqué. But it was a hefty challenge on Messi. The frustration spilling over for the Real Madrid players. And we see the Real Madrid captain, the Spanish captain as well, trying to keep the peace.
Well, Jose Mourinho is absolutely flawed. He said last year, when they lost against Barcelona but still went through in the Champions League, that it was the most beautiful loss of his life. Tonight is certainly the ugliest loss of his life.
And that picture says it all, doesn't it, for Cristiano Ronaldo?
Well, amid that, Ramos was sent off. Carvalho stayed on. Guardiola looks cool as personified as he heads down the tunnel, but I'm sure as he gets into the changing room, he will whoop for delight. Casillas and co can't wait to get out of this stadium quick enough. A 5-goal humiliation. A famous victory for Barcelona. 5 goals tonight, 5 wins in succession against Real Madrid, and Terry's just been magnificent.
It was brilliant. Right from the first minute, we had massive expectation levels, and I have to say, Rob, Barcelona didn't let us down.
Well, the whole team stays out there in the centre circle. The whole support stays inside the stadium. to show their admiration for the team. Iker Casillas, the last man to head down the tunnel. His team ended a player short. Mourinho, sportingly, acknowledges the Barcelona players and the officials as well. He hasn't spoken to the press for a couple of weeks during his ban. He'll have to face them tonight. There won't be special words from the special one.
No, I think he'll be honest. I think he's always honest, and I think he'll accept his team were well beaten tonight.
Well, another brilliant Barcelona performance. Once more, they take control of La Liga. The scorers, Xavi, Pedro, there too. Jeffren joining the party at the end. Complete humiliation for Real Madrid. And the party will begin in Catalonia.
They came into this, of course, the champions, on the back of an 8-0 win against Almeria. Ronaldo said, I wonder if they can score 8 against us. They almost did. 5-0. 5 Clasico wins out of 5 for Pep Guardiola against Real Madrid. Jose Mourinho has never lost by a 4-goal margin, let alone a 5. What must he be feeling? Barcelona leapfrog Real Madrid and go top, 2 points clear of their arch rivals. Don't forget, of course, in Spain, head-to-head takes precedence over goal difference, so extra significance to that result so far. The aggregate scores from the 2 games counts rather than goal difference if they're level on points once the 2 sides have played. So it's more than just 3 points tonight. What an incredible night it's been. We're going to look at it in detail right now, so make sure you stay with us for that. So much to talk about. And whatever we don't get into, and whatever Jose says overnight, we'll discuss it tomorrow. Revista de la Liga is on air from 10 o'clock. Join us in the bar on Sky Sports 1 for the fallout from an incredible night in the Catalan capital. Star-studded cast, World Cup winners galore. We expected something a little special might happen tonight. It has in abundance. Barca have beaten Real by 5 goals to 0. Yes, it was 5. Hope you enjoyed it as much as we have here. Truly incredible night's football. Humiliation for Jose Mourinho and Real Madrid, but a 5th successive Clasico win for Barcelona over their arch rivals that puts them top of La Liga, 2 points clear of Real Madrid. Gerry and Mark are still with us. Ronald Koeman's joined us too. What did you make to that performance tonight? They've thrilled us over the course of the last few years. Is that arguably the best performance we've ever seen from the champions of Spain?
I think one of the best, because before the match I expect more equalizing between Madrid, who played the last few weeks very good football, offensive football. The character who puts Mourinho in the team. But from the beginning, Barcelona was more aggressive. I think you can talk about how they play one-touch football in the midfield. But how you see how everybody was working without ball to press Madrid on every place on the pitch, that was the big difference, and I'm still impressed how they play Barcelona tonight.
Mark, if you could only judge a side on the quality of the opposition, and these two are supposedly the 2 best teams in the world, where do we put Barcelona, this performance, in ranking in all time?
Well, by the measure of that performance, on an absolutely different plane to anybody else at this current time. We're not talking about a dead rubber in a Champions League group game. This was a top fixture. 2 teams who desperately wanted to win this evening. Unfortunately for Real Madrid, they couldn't get anywhere near Barcelona. Barcelona were absolutely outstanding from start to finish today.
Barca outstanding, but how poor were Real Madrid in your opinion, Gerry?
I don't think you can say they were poor, Mark. I just feel that Barca were that good. There was 2 or 3 players coming into their first Clásicos, and I thought Ozil would find it tough and Kadir would find it tough, and they did. But the quality of the passing, as Ronald said, the closing down, the work ethic from every single player. They won every battle on the pitch, and I just wonder how they're going to overcome that, because psychologically it's going to have a massive effect on them for future games, and Barcelona will be cock-a-hoop now at the moment.
Took them 10 minutes to get on the score sheet tonight. Xavi with the opening goal on the night. Tactically, from the outset, you sense Real Madrid were in trouble, trying to keep it compact in the middle, and Barca were just able to stretch them so easily in defence, weren't they, Ronald?
Man, it's difficult because in most of the goals, it was always a little more space behind the defence of Madrid. And in this case, in the first goal, Xavi was looking for the profundidad in the space behind the defence, and the rest of the goals, it looks like the same. And Villa from outside, it's difficult. And at a good moment, with fantastic passes of Xavi, of Iniesta, of Messi, and he going for the space behind the defence, and that was the big problem for Madrid in defence way.
They'd already hit the post, of course, before the goal went in. Messi, and at 2-0, very soon after mark, you sensed the worst possible scenario was starting to unfold for Real Madrid.
Well, you just sense that they couldn't get anywhere near. They couldn't get a foothold in the game. Once they did win the ball back, they immediately give it back to Barcelona, just by virtue of the pressure that they were under. And it's great to watch Barcelona when they're in this mood, because their angles of their passing, the times they take 3-4 people out of the game just by virtue of a correct pass at the right time, and they're the masters at it. And today it was a pleasure to be here and watch them perform tonight.
We talked, didn't we, about individuals before the game and how they could influence the game, but often, Gerry, it's individual mistakes that decide these fixtures as well.
It is, but they're forced by quality players, the likes of Iniesta and Xavi, Pedro. I don't think I've seen a better performance from them, especially against that quality opposition. They forced the errors by closing, by working so hard, and they were on top of their game in every single department. You know, I can't stress how good they were tonight, and it could have been a lot more, Mark, than just 5-0.
Lionel Messi didn't get on the score sheet tonight. That's one of the surprises. But my word, he had hands in how many goals this evening. Incredible. If you don't stop him scoring, it's almost impossible to stop him making a goal.
Yes, he did not score tonight. He had 2 or 3 times the possibility to score, but see how he gave the space in the pass in the space on a good speed. That's one for me. Is the best player. He demonstrated tonight because he was the best on the pitch, and on the good moment, good passes, and I think that was for Madrid a big problem, because Villa make the pitch very open on the left side and Pedro on the right side, and was too much for Madrid in the defence way to control that.
His part in the next goal, Mark, had us out of our seats, didn't it? It was incredible.
Yeah, I mean, once again, Real Madrid just couldn't cope with the pressure. Barcelona once again win it back, and then you see this angle of this pass. From the moment it leaves his foot, it's on a plate for Villa. Still a good finish, still a little bit to do, but on the night, the quality of play from each and every one of the Barcelona players was, as we said before, at a different level to what most of us have seen in recent times. I just think it was an all-round great
is that undefendable?
No, I think you can make the choice what you are doing with Messi, because Messi playing in the center, in the front, in the attack, but he was always moving. You can put a defense player marked 1 against Messi, because he get now so much freedom in the whole pitch, and then the good passes in the space behind the defense in Madrid, it was too much. But I think if you know the qualities of Messi, you can't give him that space what he get tonight.
New milestone for Jose Mourinho in his coaching career. That never been defeated by 4 goals before. It's 5 at the end, Gerry. 5 Clasicos in a row for Pep Guardiola and for Barcelona. The 5th, it was humiliating by this point.
I think so, and like I said, I don't know how they're going to overcome that, because there's a lot of the season still to come, and they have to take this on the chin and bounce back from it. But it's going to be tough to take. I mean, the subs come on here. Jeffren come on at the far post, and He's got in on the act as well, got himself a goal. Frustration in the Real Madrid players' faces is there to see. But the quality, you can't deny the quality that Barcelona's got. And there's so many good players. If you stop one, great, but there's 6, 7, 8 others that you can't stop. It's incredible.
We feared that scoreline, didn't we? Particularly when we saw Real Madrid heads drop. Lovely to see Messi and Villa combining so well. But I wonder, how significant was it that Higuain didn't start tonight? Because Ronaldo and Higuain have got a little thing going in recent weeks. There was a change for Mourinho forced this evening. Were they on a loser from the outset, do you think?
I don't think it was the reason about the score tonight, because the whole team of Barcelona, what I said before, working so good in when they did not have the ball in the pitch, and Higuain was not the reason for Madrid, because Benzema is like very good striker as well, and no, I don't see that the problem for Madrid tonight.
Are they better than your lot were?
Yes, much better. I think you cannot compare that, because I think football today it's more speed, more physical, and we had in our time a very good team, but this Barcelona is a little bit more.
There's something else, aren't they? So much more to talk about. Do stay with us. One red card could have been a whole lot more, couldn't it? So much incident in that game. We'll look back on what was an incredible, historic night here. Equal to Barcelona's biggest ever win this in the history of this fixture. They haven't done this since January '94. What will his response be, Mourinho, and his too? We'll contemplate that after the break. Of La Liga, Barcelona 6 again. They've leapfrogged their great rivals, having beaten them here 5-0 this evening to equal their biggest ever win over their arch rivals in Spain. The champions on course to retain their title once again. When you see World Cup winners in that Real Madrid team look so dishevelled and so broken in a game like that, what do you fear the effect of that result could be on Real Madrid for the remainder of the season?
Yes, can be, because you're not losing alone. You're losing 5-0, and I won one time as Barcelona player 5-0. Yes. But I have to say I lost as well one time 5-0. It's a big result, and the way how you lose, how you lost, I think that's important for the next few weeks of Madrid. And but it was Gerry play today, and it was so much different. And normally this kind of match in the Spanish league between two big teams never can be so much difference.
So many managers, so many coaches and players pre-season, Mark, told us that this was the biggest test of Jose's career, because he didn't just have to win, he had to do it in style. It was all looking so good up until tonight.
Yeah, but you have to say this was the acid test for his team. He's got a different squad. He's bringing new players into the Madrid team, and up to this point, really, they haven't been tested to any great extent, not like they were tonight.
Did he get the tactics right tonight?
I don't think it was about tactics tonight. I think it was just about outstanding ability. Very, very difficult to combat what Barcelona produced tonight, irrespective of tactics, formations, whatever. It's all about players in the end.
I think they were unplayable, Mark. I really do. I think the way they come out, the attitude, they were unplayable. And I feel sorry, because a lot of these players, it's going to be another year before they've actually gelled. You know, there's so many young players coming into the side, the likes of Ursula and Khedira, Di Maria. You know, it's going to take time for them. And you can see tonight, this was the big test, as Mark said, and they're so far behind, it's untrue.
He's been telling us for weeks he knows how to beat Barcelona. Do we feel sorry for him?
No. Why? The best team won tonight, and what Mark said before, the players who have to make the difference between the lines, and as a coach, and the formation and the tactical way Madrid played like other weeks, and there was no difference. Barcelona was too much for Madrid tonight.
And we've seen the power again this evening, haven't we, of the team, taps over the individual, Real getting it together, the team spirit, but this is the ultimate team, and again, the importance of the victory, so much of it down to the engine room. Xavi and Iniesta in the heart of the pitch, Mark.
Yeah, totally dominant in that area. You're looking at the midfield of Madrid, never really had an influence on the game from the first minute to the last, just by virtue of the movement and the rotation of positions that the Barcelona's players continue to do. Very difficult to combat against.
And it's no surprise as well, because you look at Xavi, we've marvelled at the skills and the quality of the passing from Xavi. Look at Iniesta, he was instrumental in the first pass there for Xavi's goal. I mean, they're all world-class players, and you can't stop all these world-class players at the one time, especially when they all gel together like they did tonight. That's definitely the best performance I've seen from them as a
success. It's the benchmark for how all clubs should be, isn't it, this one?
I think everybody likes it kind of playing of Barcelona, because it's offensive and it's with strikers, with wingers, and the short passing in the midfield, and the right moment passing to the wingers, and it was a great Barcelona tonight, and I enjoyed it very much.
No goal for Messi against the Mourinho team still. No goal for Ronaldo against the Barcelona side. How much will that have hurt him, do you suspect, tonight? A very proud man, Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah, of course. Going into the game, there was obviously talk about different personalities on the pitch and off the pitch, and he's got a big ego, he's got a huge talent, but tonight he wasn't able to have any influence in a positive way for his team, and that's credit to Barcelona, just because they denied him space. And in the end, he got frustrated with himself, he got frustrated with the game, and in the end, just his whole demeanour changed completely towards the end of the game.
As well as that, the two fullbacks, or if you call them fullbacks, Dani Alves is like a right winger. He's pushing on all the time, and it's difficult for Ronaldo because he was tracking back, trying to keep Dani Alves in check. Same for the other flank. You know, I just feel that all in all, there was just no way that Real Madrid could have handled that tonight. They were second best in every single department. And I do feel a little bit sorry for them, because they now know what the benchmark is. The benchmark's a lot higher than they thought it would be, Mark, and they're going to have to raise the bench for themselves. The bar's gone up big time.
Josie had squeezed the referee, Ronaldo Gonzalez, before tonight, just a little, because in previous Clásicos, Barcelona had come out on top. There's no way that he can be scapegoated tonight. I mean, had it not have been for him, Jose could have been down to far less than 10 men, and early on, couldn't he?
I thought the referee was excellent on the night. You have to have, obviously, an understanding of the emotion that this game generates, and you have to factor that into your performance as a referee. There were some challenges that maybe on another day possibly would have been red card straight away, but I just felt the referee allowed the game to develop, and we kept everybody on the field of play until the last moments, and that was to our benefit.
The Ronaldo push on Pep Guardiola was an incredible moment. The elbow in the face as well. I mean, this Barcelona team are beautiful to watch, but they're certainly not soft, are they? They're tough too.
No, they play hard but fair. I think on the moment of Guardiola, this moment, I think he has to give the ball to Cristiano Ronaldo, and Ronaldo is not a good reaction in that case, but it make the match a little bit more emotional, and but nobody else. The referee, in my opinion, was very good today.
But Guardiola's a winner, isn't he, Ronald? He doesn't want to give anything away. You could see he wasn't going to give them the slightest advantage, especially, I think he was under more pressure than Mourinho before the game. I think he was feeling the pressure more that it might affect his players, but if it did affect them, it affected them in a positive way, because they were just magnificent.
Once again, they started a Clasico in second place. Once again, they finish it in first place. Having seen what we've seen tonight, is there any stopping them, or are they champions in wait again, Barcelona?
No, I think it's a long championship, and Madrid has to come back, and the result and the 3 points will give Barcelona a lot of confidence, and it will be very difficult for Madrid to reach again Barcelona.
Are they still the team to catch across Europe, not just domestically, Mark?
I think so. By the manner of that performance tonight, I think everybody involved in Champions League football this year will be looking at Barcelona and thinking we have to go some to overcome them if we come up against them.
Who's back against them to do the double?
You wouldn't back against them. Mark's right. You know, you look at the result last week. Real Madrid went to Ajax and won 4-0 at Ajax. They've come here tonight and they got an exhibition. They got a lesson, and we'll see how they bounce back. They need to bounce back from this tonight, though, Mark.
Ronald, while you're here, what do you think about the possibility of Guardiola leaving sooner than the faithful would want here? Is that a possibility that he could go to the Premier League, turn his back on this club?
Maybe after a period of 3 or 4 years to be coach of Barcelona. Mark, as well I am, knows the pressure in the Spanish football, and maybe after a while he will decide for himself to look everywhere to be coach, but it's no reason to leave the club in this moment, because the team is working fantastic, and it's for much more years to be the coach in Barcelona, because he's a winner, the team is playing well, they are very successful, and there's no reason to leave on this moment.
Okay, let's check in on the live football coming up on Sky Sports over the course of the next few hours and days. Carling Cup action, of course, 7:30. West Ham take on Manchester United tomorrow. That's on Sky Sports HD1 and Sky Sports 1. After that, there's another derby. Birmingham against Aston Villa, 7:30 Wednesday night. 1-1 again. And don't forget, we'll reflect on this game. We'll get some fallout from Spain. Try and get Jose's reaction for you as well. That'll be interesting. On Revista de la Liga, we'll have every goal from week 13 in Spain. 10 o'clock, Sky Sports 1 tomorrow. Gerry, Mark, Ronald, thanks for your company tonight. Very much appreciate that. Barcelona run out 5-0 winners in El Clasico to go top. They are Spain's special ones. Good night.
Every second is a lifetime, and every minute more brings you closer to God, and it feels better than love. Every second is a lifetime, and every minute more brings you closer to God, and you see nothing but the red lights. You let your body burn like never before, and it feels better than mine. To it, close your eyes, you can know it's all enough. See the lights in the rain, turn back, but they never change. So what is
More sport, news, views and video on Sky Player, Sky Mobile TV and at skysports.com.
Oh, it is a good cross.
Get set down. Yep. Away. Oh, here we go. Come on.
Sponsored by Bet365.